Hi, I'm Dave Roberts and welcome to the clay pit at Weston Pools in Oswestry. We're here today to do a bit of shallow fishing. Now, shallow fishing in the warmer months is just a great way to catch fish. But a lot of people tend to shy away from it, whether they're pleasure fishing or match fishing, because they think it involves a lot of hard work and being able to hold the pole and feed at the same time. But it's actually relatively simple. Providing you can feed the fish regularly and you have the correct setup, the correct rigs, you should be able to catch fish regularly and put a real nice net of fish together. Now, my approach for shallow fishing generally is based around 3 rigs. What I like to do is set up 3 rigs that will cover depths, because what's going to happen is we're going to feed the fish regularly with smaller pellets, 4 mils or 6 mils, and we're going to gradually try and attract fish into our peg, and they're going to start off deeper and hopefully come up through the layers. So as a result, I set up 3 rigs. Firstly, I have one rig which covers, it's probably on a good metre or so of line, and I can set that at any depth from a foot, or I can go very deep with it. So I have what we call a deep shallow rig, and that means I can really search through the layers to see where the fish are feeding at, and that's quite a versatile rig to have set up. Secondly, I've got a medium depth rig which I've got set on about 2.5 foot of line. It's a 4x10s float with a couple of shots there, and again I can have that ranging between a few inches deep up to 2 foot deep. And then finally I have a very short rig, just a 4x8 floats with no shot down the line, and I can really fish very shallow with this. So especially when you're fishing for species like F1s who like to come very shallow, this rig can really come into play later on as the fish become more confident. And if you see fish swirling on your bait, then that's the rig that I'll turn to. Now, I like to set my shallow rigs up on these short top kits. These are fist top kits done by Tri-Cast, but lots of manufacturers are doing these now, and it's basically a solid top kit. There's no joins in it at all. And what this enables me to do is to put a relatively short piece of elastic in, and I like to use latex elastic, just a number 10 elastic for F1s, maybe a 12 for carp. And it means, because there's not so much elastic in the pole, that when you get a bigger fish, it doesn't stretch lots of elastic out and you end up with lots of pole in the air. Okay, it just keeps everything nice and compact, but still a nice soft elastic cushion when you're shipping back fish of all sizes. Now I connect my elastics to my main line through a Dacron connector, and more so than ever this is important when shallow fishing, because it really kicks that line away from the pole tip, so when you're spinning the rig or slapping the rig, it saves you getting the tangles around the end of the pole. Now, my baits for shallow fishing at this time of year generally revolve around pellets. I like to fish 4 mil pellets or 6 mil pellets, and you can use casters, maggots, things like that, but my personal preference is to start on pellets. And generally, because these make the sort of noise that especially F1s and things like that like to hear, and you can really sort of create some activity in your peg. They're easy to feed, they're all uniform size, uniform weight, and you can really build a peg up. And these falling through the water all the time, and with your hook bait, maybe a 6 mil falling with it, creates lots of bites and lots of fish in the net. Now, obviously, with getting fish to feed shallow, one of the most important things, or the most important thing, is feeding. How you're going to create this competition in your peg to get the fish feeding. So in this instance, we're using a catapult, and you need to choose the right catapult. It needs to be a catapult that's not too soft, not too firm, okay, just a nice soft elastic with a reasonably sized pouch on it, because you're going to be feeding a lot of time, you're looking at your float, you're not looking at the catapult, you want to know it's there. So you need a nice big area where you can just drop a few pellets in, and you're trying to make life as easy for yourself as you can as you're feeding. So I find this sort of elastic nice and soft, so you can just ping pellets out. If you have anything too firm, you'll lose your accuracy. Okay, so something nice and soft, and I find that perfect. Okay, so I've been feeding some 4 mil pellets regularly there now for a while, so I'm going to start now, and I'm going to start on my middle depth rig. I'm going to set it at about just over a foot deep, banded 6 mil pellet on the band, and I'll just put the top kit on, and just when I've just got it there, I'll just flick a few more 4 mils out there, because it's important just to keep this bait falling through the water. And then when I get out there can ship on top of it. Hopefully there'll be a fish already there waiting, and it's just a simple case of just flicking the rig over just so it tickles the water. Oh, and there you go, fish straight away. Look, they must have sat there waiting for that. So this latex, we're in deep water here, so the fish has taken a fair bit of elastic out and dropped down into the deep water, so I can ship back fairly quickly. I don't know what size this fish is, but no worries. The elastic's going straight down into the water, so I know it's not going to tear off on me. And these short top kits, when you get a fish to landing net range, they're right under you, right in front of your nets, and generally reasonably easy to net. F1 this one. Oh, that's a nice F1 to start with. Look at that. There we go. Beautiful F1. So there's obviously a few there, and I would expect the fish to come even shallower than that. So we'll carry on like this, just feeding and see how the session pans out. But I can see us later on move into a much shallower rig as well. But it's all about rhythm. So same again, just ship out a little bit, and I can just feed that line there. And if I was feeding any other lines, a short line or a margin line, I could do that now and then ship out, and hopefully there'll be another fish there waiting. It's not so much a case of slapping the rig over when you go out, it's just literally just flicking it over so that the pellet just lands on the water, natural like the others. There we go, there's another one. Well, this looks like being a good day because these fish are on this feed straight away. Same again, F1 I think. Wind's getting up. You can see even with a decent size F1, I've got a 10 latex in these short fist top kits, and I don't need a puller bung or anything. The elastic does its job. You don't need to rush anything, and they're coming in nice. And the important thing is, I say, the elastic is tensioned right, that when those fish hit it, the hook is penetrating and the fish is well hooked. So same again, maybe 20 or so pellets, nothing, not too much, but we're still looking to attract these fish into the area. Sometimes giving it 2 as well. Again, just creating a nice little area where those fish will be nice and confident. Same again, and I say it's not a slap, it's just a little flick over. Oh, straight away, look at that. That is awesome. Same again, lovely F1 again. And you can see how easy it is when the fishing's like this to get into a rhythm, but on certain days you'll have to work a lot harder for your bites, and that's when we start lifting and dropping the rig and slapping the rig and varying feeds. It's all about working, but it doesn't need to be complicated. It's a very simple process. We just band a pellet, feed a little bit of bait, and ship out. Flick the rig over and we're in straight away. These are beautiful F1s. These are real weighing fish, these are as well. So there we go. That concludes a nice day's shallow fishing here on the clay pit at Tri-Cast Weston Pools. We've caught shallow all day today, and as expected we've caught deeper shallow to start with, and as the fish have become more confident and we've fed more and more bait, the fish have come right up under the surface, and I've ended up catching great big F1s that far under the surface. It's been brilliant, real exhilarating fishing. Shallow fishing doesn't need to be complicated. As long as you feed regularly and you've got an array of rigs to cover all depths, you too can catch a nice net of fish shallow.